Look who's here, Nicole Neily, president and founder of Parents Defending Education. Nicole, it's great to see you. This growing scandal in Virginia, now 18 schools. It's 18 schools. It keeps getting bigger. And 4 school districts caught holding back National Merit Award scholarships from high school students. This is about leveling the playing field. Nicole, really? This is punishing students who work hard, and then they try to claim that that is fairness or justice. This is truly a failure in Virginia schools.
It is astonishing. My coworkers and I over the past week have been contacting schools around the country to figure out if this is a more widespread phenomenon. We have yet to learn of another state where this is occurring. So this really does at this point seem to be localized to Virginia, which is horrifying. Just tonight, actually, we found out that Thomas Jefferson High School, a parent contacted us that they requested their child's transcript. And they looked on the transcript and noted that it did not have any, it did not note that the child had taken honors classes. And when the parent reached out to the school and said, what is going on? The guidance counselor didn't respond. And then the person who actually was responsible for this national merit debacle said, well, we had been discussing taking the honors designation off of the transcripts for a long time. So again, this raises questions. Yeah. Is this just a misguided effort to implement equity at the expense of excellence?
Are you seeing, first it was Fairfax County, then Loudoun, Prince William, and Stafford counties. Are you seeing this happening outside Virginia and other states? Not yet?
Nowhere except for Virginia, not at all.
Okay, so here's the other thing. We've got Bill Maher from HBO. He is slamming what's going on in schools, woke education, saying this Democrat agenda has completely failed children, that they have completely lost control of their schools with this woke agenda, and that, you know, we're putting sex education on kindergartners. They're talking about picking pronouns and picking which, instead of picking which answer is correct in reading, math, or science. This is traumatizing to children, Nicole. There's a reason why you do sex education in later grades, like 7th or 8th or 9th grades. You don't do it with kindergartners, children 5 years old.
Absolutely. We have teachers who think that they know better than we do how to raise our children. And when parents speak out, they are mocked, they are shamed, they are derided. And that's why we've seen this parent uprising. And frankly, it's not slowing down because schools keep overreaching.
But let me ask you something. Who said impose this agenda? Who said it's okay? Who is doing this in the schools? And isn't it time to stop the bullying? To stop this woke bullying, because that's what it is. They're intolerant. They make like they're tolerant, but they're so tolerant, they're so open-minded, their brains have fell out the back of their heads.
Yes, it's astonishing. And sadly, this has been taking place in schools for decades. You know, parents drop their children at the schoolhouse gates, trusting that these educators would take care of their children. And we're finding now that schools are prioritizing microaggressions over actual assaults, over children actually learning content. And that's why, you know, this trust has been broken. Let's watch
Virginia Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears and Virginia Attorney General Jason Miyares. They were with us last week, Nicole, talking about what was going on in Virginia. The Attorney General of Virginia now probing civil rights violations of the students that happened where they held back their student merit awards. Watch this.
We have schools that are withholding information that are crucial to a child's success. We're talking about free tuition. We're talking about recognizing achievement. My God, when did that become controversial? What is wrong with these schools? What is wrong with these school boards? It blows your mind. Educators, they've gone off their rocker. Let me just say it that way, because I don't know what else to call it.
What is so tragic about all this is you hear this word equity all the time, but equity without excellence is emptiness. And they have this policy in place. What breaks my heart is so many of these students, they're first-generation Americans. They live in households where English not even the primary language spoken at home, and education is the doorway to the American dream. It's been denied them.
What do you think, Nicole?
They're absolutely right. This is reminiscent of Kurt Vonnegut's book, Harrison Bergeron. You know, they're holding back high achievers to make other people feel better. That's not how our country became great, and it's certainly not how we stay on top of a global economy.
So, you know, the federal government, we poured $190 billion into states, into schools to deal with the COVID impacts on the nation's education system. Are they spending pandemic aid on things like equity consultants and stuff like this?
You are absolutely right. That's what they're spending money on. This has been nothing but a slush fund for Democrat operatives and progressive pet priorities. This is not used for HVAC systems and building upgrades like we were told had to occur for children to get back into the classrooms. And sadly, what we're seeing now is school districts are getting used to this inflated baseline. And so now we're expecting them, once this ESSER funding runs out, for them to turn around and plead pauper and say, you know what, we need more money. We just can't get the job done. And I'm sick of it.
You know, it's time to stand up. It's time to stand up for our children. Nancy Pelosi keeps talking about the children, the children, the children. Has she stepped in any school lately to see what's going on? Because we have this new survey from even Yale University. Yale is saying that this poll, hostility towards free speech, it's growing in schools all over the nation, Nicole. Students are saying they feel intimidated, they can't share their own opinions that differ from their peers or even their professors.
Yes, unfortunately, prior to starting PDE and moving into the K-12 space, I actually used to run a campus free speech group, Speech First. And what we found is that students are terrified to express opinions because of overbroad policies like speech codes. They can get in trouble for saying anything. And sadly, they can also get in trouble anywhere because schools maintain policies called bias response teams, where students are actually encouraged to rat on their fellow classmates.
Hold on, hang on. Nicole, that's not school. That's an indoctrination camp.
There you go. And you pay $70,000 a year for the privilege. So Speech First used to sue these public universities. And what scares me now is we're seeing these policies metastasize down to the K-12 level, being used in elementary schools, junior highs, high schools. And that's why we all have to keep an eye on what's going on and fight back when we see these things start to occur.
Nicole Neily, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining us in our new hour. We'll be right back.